we're diving right in today because we're exploring something incredibly raw, the absolute unapologetic truth about what truly drives us to succeed. We're breaking down a deeply powerful philosophy from our source material on human motivation. And honestly, this is a perspective that speaks directly to you, your reality, and the very real struggles you might be facing right this second. So let's kick things off with a massive question. What is the world's biggest motivation? Seriously, what actually pushes us forward when times get incredibly tough? What is that one undeniable force that kicks you into gear every single moment and screams at you to stop sitting idle? Well, we're going to shatter some pretty common illusions today about what actually fuels that fire. Society often feeds us this idea that motivation comes from chasing these glamorous myths, right? The allure of big money, the desperate desire for fame, or maybe even the dramatic sting of a bad breakup. But here's the real kicker. The actual motivation, the undeniable engine of human willpower, is your painful current reality. It's your daily circumstances, your family situation. That right there acts as the absolute most powerful fuel on earth. So that brings us to part one, the harsh reality, facing the uncomfortable truths of daily life. Think about those agonizing moments when your desires are just totally crushed by an empty wallet. It's that harsh reality of really wanting to buy something or just craving a specific meal, but having to literally kill that urge solely because you don't have the cash. There is this stark, painful contrast between the picture-perfect lives we're all scrolling past on social media and the actual, tangible reality you face the second you put your phone down. That intense lack of resources, that can push you so much harder than the promise of wealth ever could. And man, it's not just about what you can't buy, it's the daily psychological toll. It's lying awake at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, absolutely terrified about spending more than you earn just to survive. It's wondering what's going to happen to your future, or let's be honest, if you even have a future at all. The mental weight is incredibly heavy when even basic mobility, like just putting gas in your bike, becomes a total luxury, and peace of mind is just completely non-existent. Now, I want us to really slow down here for a second and look at the reality of your parents. Think about them, exhausting their bodies and minds every single day, tolerating blatant disrespect from the world, and literally working themselves to the bone just so you can survive. They are driven purely by the harshness of their circumstances. And honestly, witnessing their silent sacrifice, our sources present that as one of the most potent, visceral sources of motivation you will ever encounter in your entire life. Moving on to part two, channeling disrespect into fuel. How we transform social pain into actionable energy. Okay, picture this. You arrive at an event and instead of a warm welcome, people completely ignore you. You feel agonizingly out of place. I mean, we've all been there, right? Wearing that one outfit we thought looked okay, but we quickly realized definitely didn't. And you just stand there watching everyone else get showered with attention and respect while you feel entirely invisible. It is a deeply, deeply painful social experience. But here is the incredibly cold truth of that exact experience. The world only values and respects you when you have money and a name. That's it. So let that internal fire of social rejection drive you. Our source material emphasizes that society's respect is highly conditional. It's a bitter pill to swallow for sure, but truly understanding this allows you to stop seeking cheap, temporary validation and start focusing on the actual heavy lifting required to build a name and acquire wealth. There's actually a really profound saying in our source material that translates to this. Do work so great that it makes a name, and make a name so great that your work gets done just by hearing it. I mean, wow, your reputation should absolutely precede you. So let's dive into making your work your ultimate, undeniable signature in the world. But wait, what do you do with all that anger from being ignored? Well, here is a highly practical yet super intense strategy. Literally write down the names of everyone who mocks you, the people who remind you of your status, who ignore you, or who steal your joy. But instead of lashing out at them, you weaponize that anger. You silently channel every single ounce of that explosive, deeply felt frustration into completely changing your life. You take their disrespect and use it as the exact fuel you need to build your empire. All right, let's look at part three, the advantage of nothing, reframing your greatest perceived weakness. Now, you might look at having nothing as a curse, like it's this massive disadvantage, but let's completely flip that script right now. The actual superpower here is that you have absolutely nothing to lose, which means you have everything to gain. Think about it. An empty canvas means limitless potential. You have zero fear of loss because, frankly, there's nothing left for anyone to take from you. And let's be real, society absolutely loves an underdog story. The world gives the absolute highest value to the person who rises directly from the dirt of the ground all the way to the heights of the sky. So use this exact moment, when you are at absolute zero, to build a legacy that nobody can ever match. Your ascent will be infinitely more respected specifically because of exactly where it started.
Which leads us perfectly into part 4, Mindset of a Winner, how to mentally process the brutal journey.
If you're going to survive this climb, you must adopt some non-negotiable mental shifts. First, stop cursing your helplessness and aim to change the times instead. Second, obsess over defeating yourself rather than worrying about the crowd around you. Third, become a prisoner of your reality, not empty desires. And finally, you have to start finding joy in the absolute difficulty of the climb. Basically, you have to stop obsessing over the noise of the crowd and start mastering your own internal landscape. Because here's the thing, difficulties break some people into pieces, but they polish others into diamonds. Life is packed with immense hardships, no way around it. But the deciding factor is your response. It's about consciously choosing to smile through the pain and letting that intense pressure and struggle refine you into something totally unbreakable, rather than letting it shatter you into pieces. There is this beautiful thought from our source material that roughly translates to, "Those from whom no one expects anything often do wonders." I love that. Embrace being completely underestimated. It is a profound tactical advantage. When nobody expects a single thing from you, it allows you to operate entirely under the radar, moving forward without that crushing, paralyzing burden of everyone else's expectations. So the strategy here is actually incredibly clear. Keep working in total silence, because one day your sheer success will make all the deafening noise for you. Let your relentless, silent execution build up quietly, day after day after day. Let your results speak for themselves. Because when that success finally erupts, it guarantees that your own era, your own time, will undeniably arrive. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a final provocative thought to chew on. Will you let your harsh reality break you, or will you use it to silently forge your own era? Take a long, hard look at your circumstances, step back into your life, and honestly ask yourself if you are completely ready to turn your anger and your reality into massive action. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the true mechanics of motivation.